What is 24?
I've literally said before. It's like imagine you're about to deep throat it.
man, that's like just Tyler
All right. Anyways, let's get started. What's up, Barry? Welcome to Talk Rise to Me. I'm Jesse.
I'm Angela.
Brad.
What's up, guys? I'm Reza.
I'm Jay.
Well, Rez, we got 3 new people here today. Rez has actually been on this, but the first episode was a can because, first time's always the worst. Amongst many things. And then we got Angela, and then we got Brad. All right. We're going to first start the first topic today off a viral video that went a video on I can't speak today. A video on TikTok that went viral. Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead and play it.
Today, we're going to be ranking Asian girls from least toxic to most toxic. And who am I to rank them? I'm Fooligan Kevs. Next up, we have Cambodian girls. I hope none of you are watching and I hope none of you know my address. Because similar to Lao girls, I am fucking afraid. Cambodian girls, A tier toxic. Next we have Sri Lankan girls. The first thing I know about Sri Lankans is that they don't like to be called Indian. I just don't usually hear too much about crazy Sri Lankan girls. They're quite pretty. Yeah. I don't hear much about them. I would put Sri Lankan girls on the D tier. Next one we have, and it's funny because firstly, their flag is red, meaning danger. And secondly, there's a star in the middle. Kapow! The Vietnamese girls. There is a reason why the Vietnamese war was lost. If you ever mess with a Vietnamese girl, I prayed for you. Vietnam, first on our T tier toxic. Last but not least, we have Filipino girls. Filipinas. A Filipino would start drama with you because they feel like it and because they're feeling dramatic at the time. For that, I give T-level toxicity. Why are you nodding too much, Miss Bellum? T-level toxicity for just how dramatic and exaggerated everything is, and on top of that, your house and car will get burnt down.
All right. Now, basically, we're going to discuss what do you guys think is the most toxic races. Angela, would you like to go first since you're the lady?
I don't think I can. Give me a second.
All right. Who wants to go first?
Toxic.
We're talking about toxic race overall or just like guys and girls? Because that was just guys.
I mean, we're guys. So we had to talk about girls, and Angela's a girl, so she had to talk about guys.
I can talk about guys too.
We'll say in general, girls and guys.
I'm gonna do girls. I mean, I only have experience with probably 3 Asian.
But I cancel out an entire population, man.
You want to go first, Brad?
I'll go first. So in my experience, Filipinos are the most toxic. Only because
They're so pretty though.
that's the only ethnicity. What'd you say?
I said they're so pretty though.
That's
They're the
no
most
comment.
evil ones, yeah.
That's the only one of my exes that has cheated on me before. Was a Filipino. But then a lot of my friends and just like acquaintances, like a lot of them cheat. A lot. And it's not even just like it's their parents cheat, then they cheat on their spouses. It just keeps going.
Oh Lord.
Who would cheat on Brad, bro? I'll beat their ass, yo.
This is like 10 years ago now.
I still beat
A
their
long
ass.
time ago.
See him on the street, mink, mink.
It's okay. She got karma. So
What was her karma?
cool.
she got a kid.
She got a kid.
And the guy is no longer in her life. So
Let's go.
There it
All right,
is.
so your assessment is Filipino women are the most toxic.
yeah.
Okay.
In my experience, Vietnamese haven't been
Okay.
as bad. Definitely Filipinos are up there. Sorry.
Don't be sorry.
Respectfully.
Yeah, respectfully.
This is your reality. It's all good. Don't be sorry.
Somebody changed my mind.
All right. Reza, do you want to go?
My answer's gonna be boring. All the girlfriends I've had have been like angels. So I think I was the
This guy.
toxic person. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, you were the toxic one.
I've only dated 3 women in my 20s, and they've all been great. However, maybe I can speak to maybe from my friend's perspective, and I think that
Observation.
in terms of toxicity, how I would define toxicity is emotional manipulation, cheating is probably in there too. Just the inability to just communicate your feelings and just like doing shit selfishly. I think Viet will probably have to be up there, especially the ABG ones. Again, this isn't my perspective. I think this is just from a bunch of friends who tell me, and they all seem. If I had like a Venn diagram of the type of Asian women that I get talked about the most, I think Viet would probably be there. I can make a lot of excuses for them, but I just feel like they always feel like the grass is greener somewhere else because they're bad as fuck, right? And nothing is ever enough. So it's always a constant game of like, the person I have now doesn't have this, so let me try to like sabotage this relationship and see if I can flirt with this other guy just to keep him at bay, right? Like if he's on the bench. And I think at the end of the day, though, emotional maturity will come. But I think from the perspectives that I hear from my friends who have dated Viet women and men, that's who I hear of the most. Filipinos are actually the opposite. I've heard they're the most wholesome. But again, these are like, my reality. But I don't have any experience of having any toxic women in my life.
I want to address one thing that you said. We're talking about like a lot of people, they always think the grass is greener on the other side. You guys know about the 80-20 rule?
Yeah.
You know how they applies
80-20
the 80-20 rule? There's a saying that applies within dating. It's like people sometimes when you have somebody, you may have 80% of what you want, and then you might lack the other 20, but then you go looking for that 20 in somebody else, and you forget about the 80 that person has. So you're basically, you're looking for that 20 when you already have the 80. And then after you move on, you're like, dang, you realize the 80 isn't there, then you miss the old person.
But like the 20 could be really, really, really...
Toxic?
No, it could be
Important.
something really important, right? Because if the 80% of it is, let's say, I don't know, physical, right? But then the other 20%, like, they don't meet your love language, XYZ, da-da-da, then it's almost like, okay, at this point, what's more important? That you're cute as fuck, but you don't know how to, make me happy. So
I don't know. Looks is not 80%. How about this, Jesse? I got you. 80% is of a bunch of stuff, but they don't have the same idea as you when it comes to
Yeah.
like kids or family.
Yeah.
That's a big.
That's a deal.
I was talking about looks as an example, right?
Yeah.
And I think I know what you're saying in terms of like, look, if the majority of who they are fits you, then basically get over the other 20, right?
Suck it up.
But I'm just saying that sometimes that 20% is really important, and we change so much in our lives that, and I hate to say this and you guys may not agree with me, but like we are not meant to be with one person our entire lives, okay? Now let me just preface this by saying this next thing. I got you.
I've heard this. I've heard this before.
So just from a biological standpoint, like we are not meant to be with one person. I think especially men. But I think because of security, just societal expectations, that's what ends up happening, right? I'll tell you a story about a girl who was polyamorous, who was on Bumble that I matched with maybe a couple years ago. And when I asked her, like, hey...
Wait, what does that mean?
So she was in an open relationship,
okay.
but he wasn't.
Damn, that's messed up.
Yeah. So I was like, how did that work? Right? The Bumble thread was about me talking to this girl about like how it worked. Like I wasn't really interested in her. I was just like, yo, this is lit.
Yeah.
And she told me, she was like, hey, listen, I feel like we change so much in our lifetime that if our partner doesn't grow with us, we end up resenting them. So she set this standard of, okay, I'm going to let you know right now that I want to go see other people, but I'm going to come home to you because I feel like you're my partner for life. However, and she was a very hypersexual woman. So she felt like she needed to get that exciting, like, new dick, right? Because, I have to commend her because she was honest with him and he's still with her. And she told me that
Simp.
it worked out for her and them because she got what she needed. And then she got to come back home to him. And they're actually living the happiest lives because now they're not like, there's no infidelity that's going on because obviously she's like honest about it. She
That's
told
still
him.
what?
That's just
That's
the best
still
of both.
infidelity.
I think that still counts as infidelity.
Yeah.
I honestly,
It's only infidelity if the other person doesn't know.
It was an agreement.
It was an agreement, right?
All right.
You need to get his
That's
perspective.
I
to
will,
see
I
if
will
he's
say,
actually happy.
I will say this. I can see what you're saying because, like in the animal kingdom, I'm pretty sure there's no marriages. Like
Penguins
like people don't. Do they stay with each other forever?
forever.
Penguins do.
Yep.
Fact.
Dang.
Shout out penguins. Man.
What about monkeys?
I don't know.
I don't think monkeys
Hold on.
do. What? I don't, maybe. I'm a fact check that. I'll bring that for the next
I'm gonna
podcast.
finish my point about how I don't believe in that. I'm not denying the fact that that's what most people want, is to have someone, a partner that they can build a life with for the rest of their lives. But with divorce rates being up to 40 and 50%, which we can all look up, it's a fact. The reason why that is because of the resentment that goes on, because either one partner is growing and the other isn't, or because they just become completely different people and they don't know how to basically start new again, right? The person you were today is different from the person you were 7 years ago. Things that were important to you today may not be the same as it was 7 years ago. Is your partner able and willing to mold to this new version of you and be like, okay, cool, this is you now, I'm down? And some people aren't. Some people are in their 40s, 50s. That's like, I don't have the energy to deal with this shit. I want you to be who you were when I've married you. And that's not always the case. Would you guys agree or no?
I have a counter to you. I agree with you, but I have an answer for you. Okay, and I think the reason for that is I think that now in our modern day dating, not everybody, I can't say everybody. From my perspective, a lot of people, they only look for chemistry. And this is where I have a thing when there's a difference between chemistry and compatibility. And I think people spend so much time trying to find someone that they have chemistry or they quote unquote vibe with, because they're like, oh my God, you like this? I like this. Or you like doing this? I like this. You like mint chocolate chip ice cream? I love mint chocolate chip. Oh my God, your favorite number is this. My favorite number is this. It's like stupid stuff. Or like, you like, we got a
Isn't
bunch.
that compatibility?
No,
I
that's
think, yeah.
chemistry. Because okay. So, for example, Angela, you like to compete, right? Brad like to compete. In a hypothetical world, because both y'all like to compete, both of y'all are competitors, right? In the bodybuilding world, y'all have chemistry because you guys have a similar interest. So you're like, oh my God, you can talk about this forever, and you build on that, and then you build an emotional attachment based off of that. But at the end of the day, if you don't have compatibility, you guys are gonna end up drifting apart regardless. Because, like Reza said, years from now, Brad, you said that you like kind of done with competing, right?
Yeah.
Right. So like,
I might, yeah. Depending on how this next two shows do, I might be done.
exactly. So like, it's a phase in your life that eventually that chapter is going to close and your next chapter is going to open, whatever it's going to be. Dang, Brad, you might be a pro, like a expert knitter your next chapter or something. Okay.
I can see that.
Right. Okay. So, but
Strong
regardless-
hands,
and it's
but delicate.
yeah. And then Angela, you have a different interest. You do something else. You become an ice skater, right?
it's gonna be ice
Completely
skating, like-
different. Then you no longer have chemistry. But if you have compatibility, where you guys have the same values, where you guys believe in you have the same views on life, goals, and everything. No matter what your chemistry is, if you lose it, you can always build it back up, because compatibility is the foundation that builds chemistry.
I have a question. I'm just devil advocate in a way. Do you think chemistry can drive compatibility? Because I'll give you an example. If two people are competitors, right? We're going with the competitors thing. That means they understand the lifestyle, being disciplined, sacrifice, eating healthy, those things of that nature. And that could attribute to being compatible, where in the future, they still want to live their life where they're still healthy and things of that nature. Don't you think chemistry could drive compatibility? Or you think, because I know you say like expert knitters and stuff, but in the end, you want somebody who has like different interests than you. Like, you don't want someone who's like, yeah, everything I'm doing, you do the same thing.
I think it's a preference. I think some people like that. Some people don't want that. So that's based
Okay.
off the person. But going off your thing, we're talking about the compatibility thing. Okay, let's ask these two people right here. Okay, in order to compete, you have to have the discipline and the dedication to go through a prep process, correct?
Yeah.
Not everybody's built for that.
No.
You have to innately already have that trait within you to even go through that.
That's what I mean.
But the thing, you already have that before you even compete.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, do you think those values that you say make you compatible is what drives the things that give you chemistry?
But that's what I'm saying. Compatibility is that innate drive that you already have that allows you to compete.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That's fair.
When you have compatibility, like I said, you're talking about the competitor that drive, right?
Yeah.
A determined person or like a weak person will not go there. If you're not built for a prep, guess what? You're not gonna get through it no matter what. You're probably weak-minded. You probably give up after the first couple of weeks. When you start grueling, when you realize, oh my God, this is enough food, I'm starving, you give up, right?
I
A
mean,
lot of
most people can't even do a regular diet,
Yeah.
Exactly.
let alone do what it takes to compete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not related to competing. That's a you thing.
Yeah.
And so it's a compatibility. That's how you are. That's how you're built. So like how you are built is and like how somebody else is built. If you guys are built the same way, that is compatibility. And like something like that, something like religion could be a like compatibility thing too. Some people it's not. Some people it is. And then it's the other stuff like your mindset, your beliefs. Like is family important for you? Kids. Like that's a compatibility thing. Like if one person doesn't want kids, one person doesn't. That's a compatibility issue.
Okay. That's
You know what I'm saying?
I get what you mean.
So
See,
like at the end of the day, no matter if you have compatibility with somebody, you're gonna work regardless if you have no chemistry or not. You might have chemistry at the moment, you might lose chemistry, but it doesn't matter. You're still compatible, so you can build chemistry again.
okay.
But that's my point, is that like that's an ideal scenario, Jesse, is that like throughout your whole life that you guys are continuously compatible, right?
But I feel like you're never just continuously compatible. You're always working, if you want this person, working to be continuously.
Correct. Yeah, it takes two though. It takes both of you to be like, hey, you are the different person than you were 7 years ago. I'm cool with this. What I'm trying to say is that that's hard for some people to do. That's hard for a lot of couples to do. I went to a nursing home to volunteer, and sometimes the best people to talk to about life is these old folks. Them and like little kids. They just have like
Yeah.
different view of the world. And they told me that the marriages that last the longest are those who can understand that people are going to change and you have a choice to say, I'm going to accept you anyways. And some people aren't willing to do that. And there's a reality that's the case. Like what you're saying is an ideal scenario. Like we want to be with someone for the rest of our lives, right? I do too, even though what I just said is the opposite of what I'm saying now. Like I would love to meet someone who will like this Reza, or maybe in 7 years, the Reza that, I don't know, doesn't want to be in the States anymore and wants to go travel the world, right? But I think the reason why relationships fail, especially in marriages, is because people are just not willing to accept that changes do occur.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the point I'm making. And when I said, "Oh, we're not meant to be with someone for the rest of our lives," let me just clarify by saying that, like, from a biological standpoint, but we have brains, right? We have the ability to mold and change, and because of that, we look at our partner and we say, "You know what? You're not the same person you were a couple years ago." But I have the ability to make a choice whether I want to continue loving you or not.
Your
It's
neocortex.
a choice every day.
Your neocortex.
Yes.
You know what is simplifying that saying? Love is a choice. That's it.
For sure.
Love is a choice.
Sure.
But I want to get back to the original question. Jesse, what do you think of the most toxic guy?
Yeah, you go first.
What?
You're the one. You're next in line.
Well, I mean, we were going like this.
She wants to go. She wants to go
If there's
last.
a person that has a variety of women to talk about, is Jay Chan,
Hi.
bro. Okay? Let me know your list of toxic women, 1 through 10. I feel like you went to the Cambodians, the Laotians. Like we can only talk about the big 5 of Asian countries: Chinese, Viets, Filipinos. But I feel like you got an arsenal on you. I'm trying to hear.
You got a whole football team.
I have no arsenal.
You have a whole Pokedex.
I do not have a Pokedex. Mine has been concentrated in certain regions.
Okay, what region?
Certain regions. Like, I'll give you an example. I've never been with like a full Korean.
Okay, that's
Only
probably good
half
for you.
Koreans.
He's not,
We
he's
trying
not
to say-
brave enough to dive fully into the waters.
Hey, you trying to say half don't count? You trying to say half don't
I've
count?
had 2 halves, so I've had 1 hold. Okay. I've been with 2 halves, so have had 1 hold, and that 1 whole Korean person was not toxic.
They were very angry though, weren't they? Did they have a short temper?
No, I don't see.
Do you have a short temper?
Yo.
It might be a Korean thing.
You think so?
And it's not a mic. No,
think so?
you guys are just your patience level is like this so thin. You know, it's like walking on thin ice.
Oh, shit.
I
I
was
feel attacked right now, but not really. So it's okay.
all right. From what I've seen, okay, because none of the women in my life have been toxic. I feel like, I feel like no girl has been, no woman to me has been toxic. It's always, it's just a, yeah.
I mean, who wants to be toxic to that baby face, man?
Thanks,
at
man.
it, yo.
Thanks, man.
Look at this.
Behind this baby face is a toxic. I'm just kidding. But anyway, from what I've seen, people who are the most toxic, and if you want to say toxic, it's not just cheating, right? What do you mean? Like
it's not
being like
just
a
cheating.
playboy playing girl,
It's like
being
gaslighting,
gaslighting and things of that nature, maybe causing drama, causing a scene.
Yeah.
I think for like toxic can be relative to the person.
To the
One-
person,
one-
right?
One thing that you may see toxic may not be toxic to somebody else.
Okay. The most outwardly toxic that I've seen, it just Filipinos and Viets. Don't shoot me. Behind closed doors, toxic is Chinese people and Korean people. And I say that as a Chinese guy. And I know behind closed doors, we are toxic. But it's not outward. We keep it behind closed doors. I feel like because Chinese and Korean people are more like, we have an image to uphold. We have like this image we're trying to uphold, right? So we know toxicity seems like bad. So we kind of do like in the cut, like we're in the corner. We're like, yo, we're doing some shiesty stuff right now, but don't let anyone know about. Versus Filipino and Viet people are more
Outward.
maybe not status symbol, but they do stuff to garner more attention. The ABG look, I don't know, the ukulele, the stuff like that. They're more outward about it, and because of that, we see their toxic traits more. So it's just depending on that's how I see it.
That's it. You know what? I'm just gonna say I agree with you on everything you said. I would say the Filipinos and Viets.
But do you think you say that because in our area, that's kind
Yes.
of what is around the most?
Yes, I agree with you. It's always like an echo chamber. Like anecdotally, from what I see around me,
Like, I feel like there's
it's-
more Viets and
Yeah.
Filipinos here.
Yeah.
And then probably next is like Koreans, and then honestly, y'all are the only Chinese people I know.
Yeah, and you're right, because from my experience as a Chinese person and I've been around some Chinese guys and girls and stuff. I've never been around toxic Chinese girls, but I know as the guys, we are toxic in a certain way. Like, Chinese guys are toxic in a certain way.
Okay, I can see what you mean. Yeah.
They're
Do
very
explain.
so Chinese people. I think I've seen this, and it's so true. We're not so driven on people hearing us in a way, like they're more focused on like their I want to say like their actions will speak for them, or what they have will speak for them, not what they say. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Like,
I have a very, very recent example, okay? So recently, somebody in my family passed away, and we had a funeral, okay? In my culture, traditionally at a funeral, everybody wears black. You go to the funeral, you say your whatever, call it a day, it's over. In Chinese culture, well, in our specific Chinese culture, because there's many Chinese cultures, freaking 1.6 billion of us, for God's sake. In my specific culture, okay, first thing, when we get there, all the direct descendants, okay, on the guy side, we have to wear a certain robe, a yellow robe for guys.
Which means we're single.
Yes. All the guys, so the sons, their sons wear yellow. So I had me and my brother wear yellow. So that signifies we are sons on the son side. The girls on the son side wear a different color. And if you're the daughter, you wear a complete different color. So every person is labeled. So it's all a show. It's literal a show for everybody to see, like, oh, those are the sons. Those are the daughters. They don't carry the family name anymore. So they're not as important as those guys.
Yeah.
It is toxic in the sense that
Jesus Christ.
yes.
Fuck.
Yeah, so literally that's an example of one toxic trait that we are literally labeled. So every family has their issues, correct?
Right.
So in my family, there's a lot of competition amongst the brothers. Okay? It's always a competition, and within one specific family, they're more competitive than the other. And then within Chinese culture, and I feel like in a lot of Asian cultures, the size of your family dictates the size of your power within your family, because you have more heirs. The bigger your family, the bigger your power.
People care about that because Chinese people care about their name. That's why in China they had the one-child policy, and everyone wanted guys because they wanted someone to carry on their name. Because to Chinese people, you can say they toxically care about their name, their family image.
I think that's very Asian. Though,
Yeah.
Where they want just your name carried, and that can only happen if you have a son.
Exactly.
But Chinese people took it to the extreme by saying only one kid for some time, and they were like, all right, F the girls. And no other country did that.
Going back to it, what I'm trying to say is that the whole thing is a show, right? And on top of that, like with my uncles and my dad are very competitive. Some are not very, because some don't care, but like some of them, they do care. And then, like I said, the size of your family dictates how big and how powerful your family is. One of my particular uncles has a very large family, and he likes to just basically like waggle that like they paid like a dick measuring contest for him, saying that, look, I got the bigger dick than you because I have like 40 people in my family, and he just waves it in front of all his brothers. You know what I'm saying? It's like that type of outwardly toxic thing. Like, but see, that's why for me, kids are so important, because it is like I am programmed to believe that I need kids.
I would say that it's programmed for you, but for me, it wasn't always like that.
Exactly. It's
but
different.
even for me, I don't even want as many kids as you want.
I only want 2.
You were like, I'll be cool with 4. I don't even want
No,
to approach 4.
okay. Let me elaborate. Okay, I said, okay, at minimum, I want 2, a boy and a girl.
Which is
right?
fair.
That's good. But I want a third one because I want one of them to have a brother or one to have a sister. And like, I have friends who don't have a brother. I'm like, damn, you're missing out. I love my brother, and it's a great experience. And I'm sure, like, you have a sister, and you love your sister, right? Could you imagine life without your sister? No. Exactly. And so that's why, like, it's like, it's for your children. Like, you know, I'm gonna give you a brother, I'm gonna give you a sister. It's an unselfish thing. If I had it my way, it would be 2. But I want the third. I want one to have a brother or one sister. Or like, if I have 2 boys, I'm cool with that.
Wait,
So if you have 2 boys, you're done.
Yeah, I'm good.
well, I have a question.
And if the third, but I want a girl. So if the girl comes, I'm like, dude, that's great. That's great. I want a girl.
I have a question for you and then for Angela. All right. Would you want them as close as possible? Like close in date as possible?
I don't think that matters.
You mean like
I
month
think
or like?
that matters.
Would you be okay as a woman? Would you be okay, because we were talking about this yesterday, to be pumping them out as fast as possible, or do you need a breather?
like 1 year, 1 year,
Like
1
you
year,
like,
1 year.
oh, okay.
I mean, well, think about that question. Could you even handle also pumping them out 1 year after another?
no, that-
mentally, emotionally?
Some women are built for that.
No. Let me. I'm gonna lay out both scenarios for you, right? You space it out. Right? Like me and my brother, we're 3 years apart, which means you have to go through the newborn phase twice, right? With we're crying all day, or Jesse and I didn't cry. Supposedly people in our family don't cry when we're babies, but anyway, so you have to deal with all that stuff, being up at 5 a.m., blah 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 blah, right? And then you have to do it again 3 years later. Okay.
Oh man.
Or you Irish twins that joint like this, so they're really close, like 10 years apart. So you literally have a 2-year sprint where you're exhausted, but after that, you don't have to deal with it ever again.
I hear you. Me personally, with my sister having 4 kids,
Okay.
I do not think I could just pump them out.
Okay.
Mentally,
What's the date? What's the gap between them?
per kid,
Yeah, 4 years.
there's an 8, 6, 4, and then
2.
Oh, that's perfect.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's
perfect.
good. Okay.
yeah.
2
But
years.
I would say they should at least be 2 years apart. And I say that because I'm 3 years younger and then 4 years younger, than my sisters. Growing up, I felt like shit. I want to fit in. I want to do things they're doing, but I couldn't because I was little.
You know who has a good input on this is Brad, because his little brother and little sister are like 10 years younger than him, 20 years.
Yeah.
Between me and the youngest, it's like 20 years, 21 years or something. And me and my next oldest brother is 9. And I wish we were all closer in age,
Because
because I feel like the third parent
Yeah.
to all of them, and I've always felt like that. So
Feel you.
yeah, I wish we were like how you and Jesse are. I wish I had siblings as close as that.
But do you think that because you were seen as like the third parent, you grew up fast? Because I would say, like, from what I know about you and your personality traits, you have very mature traits very fast.
I feel like I had to be more responsible.
Yeah. You're like you know exactly how to carry yourself. I remember we were talking about this the other day. Yeah, I don't get, but we were talking about getting angry and stuff. Yeah, it does after a couple of days or whatever. I just let it pass through, or you don't outwardly like express it impulsively because you just.
I like to sit on it.
Yeah, you sit on it, and that's
And
a
then
very.
I get over stuff fast.
Yeah.
Like I'll be mad in the moment, but then like, I'll just it's in the past. It's whatever.
Yeah, and that's
And I'm over it.
and that's a very mature trait versus myself. I grew up as the youngest, not even just amongst the kids in my family, but always in my friend groups and everything, because I was also the youngest in my class because my parents put me in school early. And because of that, I still grew up with like the childish kind of mentalities a little bit sometimes. And you know how you mentioned, like, I don't get over it. I'm just trying to get over that now, where I don't impulsively get angry so fast and
Yeah.
outwardly explode on it. And I think it's because as the youngest, when you do that before, your older brothers, whatever, or your parents would lecture you about it, so you don't learn how to do it yourself. You just kind of get babied through it. Versus, I'm just giving you a silver lining in it, but because you're like the third parent, you're like, I learned how to do that very quickly.
I mean, I'm not only the oldest in my family, like kid wise, I'm the oldest in the entire, like out of my cousins, like I'm the oldest one.
Dang, about what's the second oldest cousin?
He might be like a year or two older than my brother.
Oh dang!
So I'm
Damn.
by like 7 years. I'm oldest. There's nobody
Dang,
for 7 years. So I was spoiled as shit.
Did you ever sit on the at the kids table, or no? It was just you at the kids table. Then once everyone else was born, you're like, I'm at the adult table now.
Man, I don't even remember.
Did you ever have cousins or anybody, since you're so much older, ask you to buy alcohol for them or anything?
No, nah, they never did.
Bruh, since I was the oldest out of my friend group, I was the one in college just buying alcohol for everybody.
Well, out of my friend group, I'm the youngest.
Oh,
Like in high school, I was young because I started a little bit early.
okay.
So you got a good balance.
I guess.
You got a good balance.
I
You
don't,
got a
think
good,
it's, I don't think it's the same. Your friends and your family, like, you know, I think I would rather have. I have a 16-year-old brother. I'm 30, so 14 years apart.
Yeah.
It's not until now that I get to like really talk about stuff that I get to be the brother I wish I had. Right?
Yeah.
So, which is cool, but and I don't want to derail the conversation, but I feel you. Having a age gap like that,
Yeah.
I had to wait a little while. He pissed me off though, for sure. For sure.
All right, back to the topic. Your turn, Angela. Toxic race. Who do you think is the most toxic race?
From my personal experience,
Of course.
I can't say. What?
Oh,
I
'cause she is a toxic one.
can't. No,
Lame answer.
I really can't.
But acquaintances, friends, like just people you know.
Your observation.
From my observations, though, and this is only within Asians, right?
Yeah.
It could be actually no. You can Asians, but Asian also includes like Indians too.
Well, shit, I don't know. But if I was doing it based off observation, I think I would agree that Viet people might be.
Yo.
he's only half. It's okay. It's okay.
From what I've seen from growing up and from things that I've heard, it's actions can be a lot more accepted and okay that it's unfaithful towards like the relationship, or there's abuse that's domestic violence, things like that I've heard. I'm sorry, we can scratch that.
No.
No.
You're good. You're good.
Because like when you said that, I thought about. I was like, dude, the only person that did that I know is actually Viet.
Yes.
Now that I think about it, I'm like, oh wait.
Yeah.
Viet, the country, not our friend. I'm hip. Viet is so good. He's so
Yeah, being our
Viet,
friend,
we love you.
You would never.
I just need to clarify that, okay? But yes,
The country.
the country, not our friend.
No, but I think that's what I would say, and I think that's also because culturally, just like how you grew up around here, I feel like that's what's most commonly not accepted, but the behaviors that are okay, and it's usually, yeah,
It's all
Okay.
good.
yeah.
Thanks for
Okay.
sharing.
All right. Let's move to the next. You have something to say?
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think this? Well, we can leave it afterwards. Do you think that's because how they saw their parents? Because, like my mom and dad, I never saw in a good way and a bad way. I never saw affection between them, and they never did anything bad to each other. It was, they never were physically harming each other, none of that. But I also never saw any physical affection. So do you think once they see that, they're like, yo, I can do that when I'm older? You know what I mean?
Most of the time, I do think it's environment,
Yeah.
and I think the environment will impact how someone acts. So yeah.
So if their parents were beating each other, they might do that
You
stuff.
think it's okay. Yeah, it's either you think it's okay or you think, you know what, I never want to be
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
I want to be someone different. You use that to drive you to become the person that you want to be. But most times, I think that people don't have the ability to see that as an opportunity to grow. And they'll see that as, ooh, I can act this way because it was enabled in my environment. And that's, yeah. So, I mean, that's what I would
I never thought about that because a lot of people use it as an excuse versus like a reason to be better. I like that. That's a good
Yeah.
one.
All right. This time you're going first.
Okay.
Since you went last. All right. What is a toxic trait that you love?
Damn. Sorry.
You can curse.
What?
You can
No,
curse.
you're good.
You can curse.
A toxic trait that I love. Can obsession be one?
Yes.
Like no boundaries?
I guess
Like
that
you
can
like
be
your
toxic.
guys obsessed with you?
Like love bombing you?
Not love bombing, but like no boundaries, as in like I don't. I want to know that you want to know what I'm up to. I want to know that you give a shit versus like I'm too cool and like calm and I don't care. Like I need that attention of knowing that, hey, I'm thinking of you, or like,
You want somebody anxious.
Yeah.
Yeah,
anxious
you want them to be like, where were you last night at 3 a.m.?
Yes.
Why'd you get home so late?
No.
maybe not to that
Angela,
extent.
it's a very thin line.
What you're referring to is attachment styles. Because
Yeah.
like basically like there's two types of people. There's
I know
people.
what anxious attachment styles are.
Yeah. So you want some. Yeah. Exactly.
I studied psychology.
Yeah. So you basically want somebody anxious compared to somebody who's avoidant.
Yeah.
So you're,
Yes.
but you're anxious. It sounds like, right? Me? Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
you
am.
want someone else that's anxious.
Since you study psychology, you should know that an anxious person should be with the avoidant person, and an anxious person shouldn't be with an anxious person.
No, so I'm dating right now, and he is definitely someone who is very gives me my space. But I think growing up in past relationships that I had been in, people wouldn't give me my space. So I think this has been like a new learning thing for me, and to realize like, hey, this is great that someone doesn't blow my shit up. But for me, sometimes I need that reassurance of like,
Every now and then.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you basically saying that it's right then. An anxious person should be with an avoidant person.
I think so. Oh, you don't want to add fuel to the fire and shit just blow up. And I think that's when toxic things happen.
Okay.
Because you would probably get annoyed if they were like blowing your shit up all the time. You just want it sometimes.
Yeah. Like I don't want to feel like I'm in some other universe and you're in another universe. Like I want to
Yeah.
feel like we're on the same planet. And that, yeah.
Okay. I
Okay.
guess I'll go next since I was second. We'll go in reverse order this time.
Okay.
Okay. My toxic trait is I hate it, but I love it. But I hate it when women are like arrogant and like overly confident, like to the point where like, do you know what I mean by that? Like, because arrogance can be linked to narcissism, and narcissism is seen as toxic. But I like sometimes like when a woman is like arrogant or really, really confident, like they really think really highly of them. Like I'm not gonna lie, that shit kind of low key, kind of hot. But at the same time, it's like kind of like, and I like it, but I hate it, but I love it. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
That's how I feel about men too.
Jesse likes arrogant women.
Jesse like them boss bitches.
Yeah.
That's
it's
what he
like-
like.
Yeah. It's like
That's
it's
what he like.
It's that energy. Like sometimes with like women, like they just like they know they're the shit, and I was like, that's kind of hot. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
You
just
know what I mean?
that's just confidence.
Yeah, confidence, arrogance, whatever, narcissism, to whatever degree you want to call it. But basically, that energy, like I love that, but I hate it.
Can I ask you something? Do you think you kind of love it because you're like, man, that's a challenge. I'm trying to conquer that challenge.
No, I think it's just more. I just rather somebody who's because confidence, arrogance and cockiness can be confused with confidence for women and men. So sometimes in that energy, I may see it as because I like a confident woman. You know
But
what
I
I'm saying?
think you can easily identify when it's arrogance or when it's confidence.
For sure. I think that sometimes you can get confused, but sometimes it can be seen as like initially as the same thing. Then you realize, oh, wait, you ain't with that confident. You just cocky. You just
That's
really like cocky. You know what I'm saying?
So like
I'm-
arrogance is fake confidence.
Same.
Yes,
That's
yes,
exactly what it is,
yes.
yep.
At face value, initial approach when I see someone I'm like, oh, that's kind of hot. Then like, if it is end up being confidence, but it ends up being like arrogance, I'm like, nah, I'm good. So that's my toxic trick I like.
Okay.
I'm real curious what all of y'all is.
I thought about this long and hard. I thought about it really hard. I'm like, what is something that I am attracted to? Is
The games.
a little bit, yeah, a little bit of the games, but
We love the games.
we love the games. But it's like the games as well as when a girl is like kind of like you. It's like a little like questions you, but like a little. It gives you like a little bit of that, like a little.
Sass.
not sassy.
Mysterious?
It's more like they're jealous of you. That makes sense. Like they're questioning if you're like doing something with another girl.
Oh, okay.
What would you call that as? Was that jealousy?
Jealousy.
I think it's just jealousy.
Jealousy, like a little bit of jealousy. Okay, not a lot of jealousy. It's not like, oh, you can't breathe in a girl's direction. but like,
Oh, are you basically talking about like a little bit? It's kind of like possessiveness.
yes. I like it when girls are like a little bit possessive.
Like you're my man. Like why are you breathing over that girl? You should be looking over here.
Yeah.
Damn.
I find that as like kind of hot. I don't know why. It's like, oh, you want me like that? Oh, I like that a little bit.
So you need that reassurance.
A little bit, honestly. Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Honestly, yeah, I've thought about it. Yeah, it's a little bit like that because I don't know. It's because I'm a Libra or whatever. I'm a naturally flirtatious guy, I guess, or I just like to talk to people. I like to talk to everyone, so I guess it can be seen as being flirtatious with people.
He's also very flirtatious. He flirts with me all the time.
Low key, that was mine.
Yeah, it's a little. You like just a little bit
But I'll
possessive.
explain mine later.
It's just I don't know. I just kind of like a little bit of that possessiveness.
You want to piggyback off of him
Oh,
since
okay.
you already said it?
So I feel like this only can work in like the talking stage. Like once you guys are established, it's not as big a deal. But like if you're in the talking stage and say you're going like on a trip and she's like, don't talk to any girls. That's low key hot.
That's low-key.
You're right.
I'm like, you're right. I'm Stevie Wonder out here.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
oh my damn, girl gonna be taking notes like. Oh, okay.
I'm telling you, it's
I doubt it.
I don't know why. It's kind of
That'd be
like I said, all these traits. It's like on a scale. It's like a little too much of it. You're like, it's not hot anymore. It just.
But
It's
it
an
also can only work if you're into the person, the other person. If it's like you're just talking and you kind of like don't really know them and they say that shit, it'd be like I would back up.
Yeah.
But you kind of have to.
Oh, you got backups.
No. I'm saying you got to back up. I'm saying you like I would back up,
Oh, I'm about to say like.
not go to a backup. I don't have any backups.
So upgrading his bench players.
Yeah, but if it happens too soon, then it'd be a turnoff. It has to be
Okay.
like in the right moment.
Okay. All right, Reza.
But you,
My
Reza.
turn. Damn, are these? I don't even know. Can you guys give me some examples of toxic traits?
All right. You know what? I'll give you some simple ones.
Yeah,
You know the 5 love languages?
sure.
Quality time, right? You know they say that that your toxic trait is the opposite of your love language. So if you're quality time, you withhold time from the people that are like, if you're dating somebody and your love language is quality time, you basically withhold time from them, right? If you are physical touch, right? If your love language is physical touch and then like you got a girlfriend or something like that and like you're being toxic, you withhold physical touch from them.
Damn, that's a dickhead move.
If your love language is gift giving, your toxic trait is you probably overindulge in shopping sprees. You spend too much money. You shop a lot, stuff like that. What else?
You're asking me what toxic traits that I might find attractive in a girl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are just some examples.
I just want to preface this. We're not saying you have to like it at
No, I feel you. I know.
level
I
10
got you.
toxicity. Like maybe just a
got
little,
you.
look a little, what is it called? The dose makes the
Yeah.
something
Okay.
poison.
Jealousy is
something.
another one. Gaslighting.
I like competitive women.
Oh, you like the competitive, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
so like board games, sports, anything like that. And when they like talk shit to me, right?
Oh, you like it. You like
the
that,
talking
huh?
shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
the
oh,
talking
word?
shit.
Okay. And
The
then,
energy just
yeah, the energy just changed, right? But then like we can flip it after the game, and you go back to being like my shorty, you know? So I was like thinking about it when you guys were talking, and I was like, damn, I tell you, man, like I don't have a lot of like the toxic trait that I had in the girlfriends that I've had. I didn't like any of them. So I'm like, I did not like any of the toxic traits that some of the girls that I had at the time. But I guess you guys know overly competitive people, right? Like men or women.
I'm competitive.
Right? Like no. Overly competitive, like you lose friends over stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that serious.
Okay.
But I don't
do
like
that?
losing.
I hate losing.
Okay, that's
I
different.
hate
I'm
losing.
talking like I don't want to be a friend anymore type overly
No,
competitive.
no,
That's
okay,
childish.
There's
to me.
people like that, right? Like shout out like FXA folks. So those people to me are toxic people, right? And if I'm like, okay, if in a girl you know how you said there's a scale?
Yeah.
Like if you're overly competitive to the point where like you're not gonna hit me up after I beat you, come on, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But I think the short answer to you is I like when my girls are has some competitive fire in them.
Okay.
Yeah, and like they talk shit to me and they're not afraid to do that. Cause some girls are very like timid, right? But those that are like that have the balls to. Well, I'll take that back.
They wanted to buck at you.
I don't want you. I don't want you to have balls. But yeah. I want them to buck at me. I want them to be open and competitive. That's what I like.
So what about like, you know, sometimes girls can be competitive in the fact with their partner in like, have you guys ever heard that some women actually, that women don't like guys that are more attractive than them? Have you ever heard that, Angela?
I have heard that.
Where like there's a reason why like really, really, really hot girls end up with like you see them on IG, be like, whoa,
Isn't
what?
that usually money?
Yeah, like they'll look at like,
Damn, maybe he got game, man.
Honestly, that, like, have you ever known the girl said that? The girl
Or
on the
like-
podcast said that.
okay, no, but like
the guy.
sometimes, okay, but sometimes like there's like you just see on IG, like you see this like very attractive woman and you see their man posted like, whoa, what? Like, how did he pull that?
Bro,
Yeah.
in LA.
Also half the age. Okay, I'm kidding. Sorry.
I'll give you an example. There's one girl I see on social media. She's a friend of a friend. She's a very beautiful woman. And then she posted her man's on Twitter. And I'm like, damn, this girl settled like.
what's her
I
handle?
know who you're talking about.
I know you
I
know what
who
I'm
you're
talking
What's her handle?
She is foreign.
she is a beautiful woman.
She is foreign.
But then like she finally posted a picture of her man's. I'm like, that's it?
Not even on IG.
well,
though,
hold on.
on Twitter.
Are you-
Boy wasn't even mid.
Look.
He wasn't. He again, look, like she is. Like I said, she's a very attractive woman, very nice figure, very
she's
beautiful
a
face,
10.
everything. I don't know her
Okay.
personality. Like I don't know her. Okay, but the dude, like probably like below mid, like not very
three?
tall. He's not tall. He's not a tall guy. He's not fit. He's not. Hey shit. I'm gonna say straight up. He's not that good looking.
Hey, maybe he packing though.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say, but for him to be packing and show that he's packing, he has to get to the point where he actually shows that he's
Yeah, I
packing.
got you. Okay, hold on. We're making a lot of assumptions here, obviously, right? So in LA, you will see that everywhere. Like a whole bunch of beautiful women. Like I'm looking at the couple dynamic, and I'm like, he pulled that joint. It happens all the time over there, especially in like the OC area.
Bro.
So I would always think like, oh, like maybe he's really, really nice to her. Maybe he has a really good personality. That's where like my head goes, right? It doesn't really go to like money and stuff like that yet. I'm sure it has a factor. We don't know. We're just assuming here, right?
Yeah.
But I think we can only ask Angela. Have you ever dated someone that you knew wasn't as attractive like as you were maybe at the time? And did you do it because this guy just had a good... Oh, actually, you know what? Let me ask you, can I ask you a question? Am I allowed to?
No, because she only pulls dimes. How dare you?
No. We speak facts here, okay? You don't have to name names. In the past, two-part question. Have you ever dated someone that you didn't think you'd be attracted to in the beginning?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Yes.
So when that happened, what was the attraction at that point?
So, I guess one of my exes, I never was into him. Didn't think he was attractive. We were best friends, and as we were best friends, God, this could be a whole other conversation.
Guy best friends, huh?
Guys, best friend.
I was the best.
We became great friends,
Okay.
I should say. Yeah. And then the attraction was you see me, I see you. And it was falling in love with who they were as a person versus
Okay.
how they physically
What she just said is my belief on how like very beautiful women end up with like
Exactly. I was
regular
gonna say
guys.
that. Yeah,
like
yeah.
literally, I think it's because that like in the dating scene, like women that are very very beautiful, guys are intimidated to talk to them. They're like, I can't pull that. They like self defeat themselves. Be like, I can't pull that. I'm not even gonna try. So like off rip, they don't even try. And so these women, like people think that they probably pull all these guys, but they don't really.
Yeah.
You know. So I think that women who are very attractive, or I guess like some women in general, you know, they have like a guy best friend who basically talks to them like a normal person instead of somebody they're just trying to get at. And so they make it's like, oh, this person, like she said, sees me.
Yeah.
so that you guys have a normal, organic conversation, and you basically emotionally fall in love with the woman, with the guy. Emotionally fall in love with the guy, because like I said, I think that women at the end of the day are less attracted by looks than men are. So basically, like if a woman can see a guy, like they can see past the physical appearance and say, like, dang, this guy's a really good dude, and he treats me very, very well, and then you end up falling in love with that person.
I assume that that's the case for every dynamic when I see that there's a prettier girl than their partner.
Unless they got a fucking enormous meat.
I'm telling you, the
But we don't know. We don't know. So,
But the one thing though I do want to add though is that I think you can be friends with opposite sexes without falling in love. So I do want to preface it with that friend or that guy I did date did love me the whole time and did want to be with me more than just friends.
Sure.
So there was that boundary that was still respected because I didn't see him like
Okay.
that.
He was just waiting for his turn.
And so I would also say, though,
Birdman
that's
hands.
what sucks about friendships like that because sometimes you don't know. Like, are you genuine for the friendship or do you want more? And I think that's like.
But how do you feel?
that's
How do you
okay.
feel about that? The fact that he was waiting. Like,
Okay,
he
I
was
don't.
waiting.
Okay. I don't know this guy obviously, but I don't think he was just waiting like in the lurks.
Yeah,
You know, I'm pretty sure that like
Boy had a
feelings
roster.
probably just grew.
I'm gonna say it like this. I said this to Jesse and Brad yesterday. I said girls and guys see the opposite sex differently.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
A guy will meet a girl and be like, all right, I want this girl as a friend, a girl as someone I just want to get with, and a girl I actually want to date within the first 30 minutes, hour of meeting her. Right? They know about that, whether it's physically or whatever it might be. They'll know immediately the moment they meet her.
Women do too.
This is how it is. For guys, they have those 3 zones, and you do not move out of those zones. You do not move out of those zones, or it is very hard. Like it's like climbing Mount Everest. Okay. For girls, y'all is like a Venn diagram. Those 3, it's like a Venn diagram. It's like friend zone, and then there's like the relationship zone, and then there's just like the situationship zone. I
Yeah,
guess.
but usually I feel like if you, most 99%, that's not even true. Most times, if you are friend zoned by a female, you'll probably stay there.
But it's still fluid.
Most of my relationships have been I've been friends with them first.
I
See what's-
think maybe in your
Yeah.
In my
reality,
experience.
See,
You're right.
but it's more fluid. That's what I mean. It's more like you even said like one of your exes you weren't attracted. You just were friends first, and it was more fluid. You know, you're like friends, and then he does things that qualifies him to be a boyfriend. You know, so he can shift over there. A guy will look at a girl like, no, I like this girl a lot. Like she might think we're friends, but I don't want to be just friends with her.
I will be friends with her until she gives me the opportunity.
The ultimatum
Boom.
is always there.
Boom.
Yeah.
They're just waiting for the bucket to be revealed to them. They can just shoot. But until then, they're just like dribbling on the bench like this. They're just like, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm out here. I'm ready.
All right, let's go to you guys' topic suggestions. Who wants to go first?
ladies
Ready.
first, okay.
Oh, ladies first.
Paying on the first date.
Okay.
Do gender roles really matter for that?
You want me to
this
start?
way?
Because you started last
Yeah,
time. You want me
yeah,
to start?
You can go.
All right. This happened actually recently for me. That's why I could speak on this.
You on a date recently?
Yeah, but it was yeah, what a
She
date
was
recently.
Asian? I love that for you.
Oh wait, she's gonna know it's about her.
I mean, I think all the dates I've been on recently have been Asian girls. But anyway, beside the fact, I think it depends. Like if I am interested in somebody, I'll pay for the date every time. Every time, even if it was like a bad date, I'll pay for it every time. I don't care. I'm like whatever, as a gentleman. But if I'm on a date with somebody and they're like, I'm like, I don't really see this going anywhere, and I don't see myself dating you or anything of that nature. Or if they also set off some like icks, then I'm like, all right, I'll split the check with you. That's just for me. But I've only split the check one time. So
But then, how do you feel when you might be leaning towards one way, and the woman doesn't even bother to try to get the check?
that's happened a lot. I don't
Yeah,
think
that happens a lot.
Most time, I think the majority of the time with me, I don't think a girl has maybe 2 times a girl has even offered.
It's a very low percentage.
Only 2 times. out of,
Most
like,
don't
the
even flinch.
Yeah, out of the hundreds of dates I've been on, maybe 2 times a girl has offered to.
So then you
Get the
just don't
check.
even expect
I
that.
don't expect it's
Yeah.
ingrained in me. Like, and it's also my mom and dad when we were growing up, when we went to family dinners and stuff like that, they would fight to get the check. So in my mind, I'm like, getting the check is something I need to do. That's my job. That's my duty as a dude. I need to go get the check. I'm paying for the check. Like I'll do stuff like I'm gonna use the bathroom. I'll pay for the check. Or one time I called the restaurant and was like, hey, I'm coming at this time for a reservation. Here's my card. Just pay it.
So then you do believe that a man should pay
Yeah.
first most of the time
Yeah.
if he's interested.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Yeah.
I love that. Good for you.
It's gonna be a fun one. It's a great question
Thank you.
because the check game is deep for me, and I'll explain. The short answer is that yes, I should always take it, whether I like you or not. I ask you to come out with me. You spending your time. You take your time to come out. I will pay for it. And the way I do it is I always give the waiter my card in the beginning, so there's no like, oh no. Here's where it gets deep for me. If the girl is into me, I'm sorry, I'll take that back. If she is not into me, she will insist to Venmo me half, or just be like, oh, how much was the check? You know, I'll split it with you, Because I think that if a girl is into me, she will let me pay for the dinner, and then I will almost always get dessert because I have a crazy sweet tooth, right? And the girls that I've been successful with on dates have always offered to pay for the dessert part. The reason why the check game is really deep for me is because it allows me to know whether or not this date was good for you. Because in my experience is that those that I never saw again are always those that insisted on paying the check, either through Venmo or like, whatever. They just want to have, because I think what happens is that girls don't like to feel like they owe anybody anything, especially men, right? So there's this like, oh man, he paid for me. Like I might feel like I gotta owe him something and I don't want to do that. So let me just offer to pay if I have to check. So it allows me to know whether the second date is going to be there or not. Because again, this is just my reality. And that's the reason why I give the waiter my card in the beginning of the dinner. It's for that purpose. Because one, I don't want the check to come out and we're playing this like, oh, should you pay? Okay, here's my card. No, I got it. I don't want to play that game. I got it. And if you really didn't enjoy this date, okay, Venmo me. If you do enjoy it, let's go keep hanging out. And let me see what you do when we go get ice cream or crepes or whatever it may be.
You and your crepes.
Have you ever went on a date with a guy that you wanted to pay half of because you didn't enjoy the date?
All the time.
Well, I don't. In the past times when I have gone on dates, and if I wasn't enjoying the date, I wouldn't stay for the whole time. That's a waste of our time.
Oh
Damn.
Hold up. Wait.
No, I'm sorry. And so so to answer that, yeah, I would pay for what I would need to, and then get out.
Yeah.
So
Wait,
you would ask for a split check.
Would it be like this? Yeah, this isn't it. Check. Or would you like stay the whole time and just be like, I'm gonna go home?
No, I would let them know, like, hey, like, thank you. Like, I'm gonna go home. Damn. It was a good time.
Hey, you know
like,
what?
nice to meet you as a person, but respectfully, both of our times, like,
Okay.
I'm good.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Most girls won't do that, by the way. Most girls won't do
Yeah,
that.
that is.
That's very mature.
Yeah.
I like that.
Wait.
Air pound.
Wait, question. So it's like if you want a date, like you went on a dinner date, right? And then you like orders your food and whatnot. So the food didn't even come out, and you just not feeling it, you just leave. You be, I'm out. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Then what do you say? Oh, like exactly what you said. Like I'm not feeling it, I'm out.
It's hey, you know what? Like literally, it's thanking them for their time, and then letting them know, like, but you know what? Like, I can already see I don't really want to be here. Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Maybe a little bit more delicately, because right now I'm like, oh, I'm not in the situation. But yeah, and I think most times definitely they're not expecting that.
I've never had anybody do that.
However, it's just like, yeah, but it's like my time is precious too, and like if I know I don't like you,
Yeah.
we're never gonna get somewhere. And I just met you today for the first time, so.
Do you think you're judging him too quickly though?
So for me, it's.
I feel like it has to be like something extreme for you, Angela, for you to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, it's kind of, but it's more so like, oh,
He catfished you.
either that or like all they want to do is like talk about themselves. Or I hated going on dates and feeling like I'm at an interview. When as soon as that would happen, they're asking me these kinds of questions. I'm like, no. Let's do this organically. Let's figure things out. I don't need you asking me like 101 questions on Google. What should I ask someone to get to know them? Don't do that.
What's the question like that? What's your favorite color?
What?
Like what's your favorite color?
Yes, that. Like things like that. Or like, how would you respond to things if like, I don't know, like someone did this, like what would be your response to it? Or like what makes you
That sounds
upset?
like a
Or like
hell-
what makes you angry?
Interview question.
People ask questions like that.
Yeah.
So like you would rather somebody ask you actually a more not personal, but like more like question catered to you than a question is like for example is like
I guess I hate small talk.
It's
Or
an
like-
art though, Jesse. Like conversation is an art, right? And I think what she means by organically is that can you listen to me and then ask me questions based on what I just told you, as opposed to like it being completely unrelated question and answer, like a Q&A.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm just curious like what type of questions you guys ask.
Oh, okay.
That's all. Okay.
Are you guys taking notes? Is that why?
No, I like
I just took notes on that. Yeah.
low key. I've never had issue with that. Like I feel like every day I've ever been on has been very organic.
Yeah.
So
Jesse's good at it.
You're a good conversationalist.
thank you. I appreciate that.
I've never had a conversation with Jesse where I felt like it was like he didn't listen to me. So I'm sure it's probably better with women who look good. I'm sure it's like he's just on it. I would love to go on a date with Jesse, to be honest. Shit.
You don't want to go on a date with me.
That's my go? Okay. All right. So.
Wait.
Oh,
Oh, I'm so
Check.
sorry.
Check.
yeah, the guy should pay, either whether you like them or not, or like whether
You like her or not?
it's going well or not, or you see something going like further. I feel like you should always pay.
Why?
It's part of the game, right? It starts to the game.
True.
So I think as a girl, from like a girl's perspective, they're already taking a risk, kind of going out on the date with you. Like you could be crazy, like they don't. I mean, you maybe talk to them for like a couple days or a week before you schedule this date. They're risking, going out with someone who could potentially like physically hurt them or whatever. So I feel like you kind of owe them that just to pay for dinner.
Dang, you
whatever.
took it there, bro.
Dang.
So I don't agree with that, but I feel you, because you come on this date because I want to get to know you too, so I know that you're also not a serial killer, which is fair. But I see what you're saying. I think that I don't have to have a reason to why I want to pay, right? Maybe it's just how I was raised or brought up, but I mean, I would hope that if a girl agrees to go on a date with you, wherever it may be, whether it's dinner or whatever, that they have done their vetting, right? Like, don't
Yeah.
you guys?
Stalk your Facebook.
Yeah, you
I mean,
guys do
sorry,
your
stalk your
research,
Instagram.
right?
Undercover detectives.
Yeah,
yes.
I feel
Girls
like
are the
most-
greatest detectives.
But have
Yeah.
you seen on like Hinge profiles? They're like, let's not talk. Let's just go out to dinner.
Yeah, but those
or
are already
something.
red flags that I
Yeah.
think most sensible women would be like, that's a weirdo thing to say.
No. It's from women. It's
Yeah,
on women's
women-
profiles.
A lot of women do that.
I'm not.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, how do you ask me out? Just ask me out.
Just ask
Name
me.
the time and place.
They all
Yeah,
say
but to
that.
me, that is kind of a red flag. Like, how are you so confident that like I'm not crazy?
And you're saying, so they had that on their profile.
They'll be like, let's not even talk on here. Let's just, if you like me, then ask me out to dinner. Or
And
let's
then,
go
but
get
you're
dinner.
saying you were willing to pay because you're not a serial killer. Like you owe them the time
mean,
that they came
obvious.
out.
Let me answer that. All right. So I agree with Brad. Okay. I think that as a guy, regardless, okay, I've been in situations where basically like we didn't really talk too much and we went straight to the date. All right. And I've been in situations where, okay, I've been on a lot of catfish dates. Okay. I've been on so many dates. I'm like, what the freak am I
sorry,
doing
Jason.
here? Like, I'm like, you look nothing like your picture, or like your pictures from like 10 years ago. All right, that's happened so many times, or like it's just not it, or like, or there's been incidents where I know that they're only out here for food.
You don't do the
Dang.
FaceTime thing?
No, I don't. Maybe I should.
Girls that say, let's just go get dinner are out just for food.
Yeah.
That's a red flag to
Yeah.
me.
So like I said, I've been catfished a lot, and I've been like in those situations where I've been on dates with girls who only go for food. But I've never ever like that's a red flag to me. If a girl says let's just go for food, that's an X.
Yeah.
Well,
Don't even
so,
talk to
it's
them.
like the ones that are like, how do you? The best way to ask me, I was
No,
with
like,
reservations and stuff like that, right?
There are some girls who don't like basically outwardly say that, but they're only going out for you just to get food.
Yeah.
Or or whatever, and that's happened multiple times.
Yeah.
Like, but like regardless of the situation, even if I feel that vibe, I will still like, you know what? I'm just gonna be in the moment right now. I'm just gonna enjoy this drink, make a friend, whatever, or enjoy this food or whatever it is, and just enjoy my time. I'm still gonna pick up the check, and I will never ever make a woman ever pay on the first date, whether it's a bad date or a good date, because that's how I was raised. You know, I'm just thinking that's just how I am. I don't split the check, and even if we do continue on a date, I will still continue to pick up the check. And like the only time I will ever let a woman pick up the check is if, say, like we was like deep in something.
If it was your birthday, man, let her pay. You know.
No, I won't even let a girl pay for my birthday.
Oh, really? I
No.
feel like that's a good
No,
exception.
I don't like girls. I don't like girls paying for me. Even for dessert, I want to let a girl pay.
Yeah,
Do
I
you
agree.
do you guys think this
Yeah.
has to
Birthdays?
do with feeling like
Really?
a man?
No, I just think
No?
no.
It's just something.
It's not even like being a. I don't think it's even tied to my my gender. It's just tied to my values as a person, because that's what my parents taught me.
Yeah,
That's
Like-
what it comes down to.
I see that.
yeah.
I see that.
Like literally, when I mentioned earlier, they would fight to pick up the check. They literally would fight each other to pick up the check. Like, they'd move out the way, give me your credit card. No, take this one. Like,
It extends even past like just like the woman too. Like paying for the woman is just a small portion of it. Like if I was dating somebody, like, and then like I went to dinner with their family, like their mom and their dad or sister came out, I would go and pay for all of them. That's just how I was raised. Like, okay, and I asked them to, hey, let's go to dinner tonight. Bring your sister, bring your brother, bring your mom and your dad. All right, I'm asking you, so it's my responsibility to show my value as just a person. Where I go, I sneak up, hey, I'll be right back. I'm gonna use the bathroom. I'm gonna go to here, pay for the check. I've done that before. Like,
So what if the girl asks you out?
man, that never happens, bro. That doesn't happen.
You guys are talking to the wrong woman.
That's literally like 1 in 100 times.
that is,
It's a very rare occurrence.
It's a 1 in 100 time thing.
Yeah.
I'm say that has happened in the past.
Cause he get like, yeah, he like that.
No,
Jay has a Pokedex.
okay. You know what? I am trying to catch them all. I haven't got- anyway, but like that has happened in the past, and I still ended up paying.
Yeah.
One time, someone asked me, like, "Hey, let's go off to dinner for your birthday." I was like, "Okay." I went out to dinner. I still picked up the check. I just felt like it was what I should do.
They didn't insist.
But I didn't expect it. Like I mentioned, I only have split the check one time, but I think that's honestly like a very special situation, because we have mutual friends and I want to be friendly with them, but I don't want to give the wrong vibe. Like I want to see something with you. Like you're just a friend to me. So I'm okay with splitting this check with you. But yeah, I just feel,
If you interested, the guy's gonna pay.
Yeah,
If the guy is interested, he will pay.
Yeah.
If he asks you to split, that means there's two reasons why a guy would ask you to split. A, I think the more traditional you are, the more likely you won't split it. And then B, if you just don't like the person, you're probably asked to split it. But if you ask to split it, you're probably not a very traditional person.
all right, I never asked to split it, but if they insist to split it, I will allow. But I will always expect to pay in full, unless they are insisting, like, no, let me pay half, let me pay half, let me pay half. I'm like, all right, cool. I've never the Venmo thing though, that has never happened to me.
Bro, if she insists on paying, man, she don't like you.
Yeah, no, yeah.
But I always insist on paying.
I'm dating the wrong girls. The ones that
Maybe that's an LA thing.
Yeah, I was about to say, how many girls have insisted? For me, it's only one or two.
The ones in LA aren't the ones that. It only happened like once, you know. But I'm very like, oh man, this happened and it made me feel this way. I don't want to feel this way ever again. So it's always like, you know, life is what you believe, right? So if I believe that girls who insist on paying at the date, that they don't like me, that's what I'm gonna believe and that's what I'm gonna think. Now, are there exceptions to the rule? Of course, but not in Razor's world, right? So, but yeah.
I will say though that like I will let a woman pay at some point, but it's like initially I don't think I would ever let a woman pay. But
How many dates is that?
I don't think you quantify in like amount of dates. I think it's more like a comfortability level. Like if you're just talking to a person after maybe like, you're talking for a month or two, and like things are, you guys are kind of like whatever. And she's like, in the past, like she's like, please just let me pay. I'm like, all right, go ahead. I'm not gonna fight you if you really want to pay. I'll let her pick it up the time, but I will never split. I will never ever split. But if she insists on paying, she like, let me get it this time. I'm like, all right, go ahead.
Let me ask you, do you think it depends if once you're past the talking stage and you're doing, like, just a preface, I think people are past the talking stage when they're doing stuff like, oh, let's go get groceries together.
Nah.
Like they're doing stuff like that. No, I'm not saying paying for groceries, but once you're doing like regular
Y'all
schmegular
are
stuff,
kind of established.
you're basically established.
I don't think so. I don't think you're established until you freaking vocally say you're established.
All right, but like doing those regular
Yes.
schmegular, all right,
You're right. Like
Yes.
I think that look, if you
No reading between
listen,
the lines.
if you are texting and talking, you are in the talking phase until somebody specifically says, "Hey, let's be exclusive." Hey, do you want to be my significant other?
Okay, okay.
Unless those two phrases are spoken, you are still in the talking phase.
no, I'm just let me finish. Okay, if you're in the talking phase or whatever, but there's like different levels of the talking phase, right? So I'm saying once you're doing like regular schmegular things, like oh, they're going to get groceries with you and stuff like that. Not saying they're paying for your groceries, but you guys are just doing non-date activities, but spending that time together.
Are you still
right?
paying for those
I'm
things?
saying after that, I feel like once you do that, after that, you're in a deeper talking phase, and then they will, and a girl offers to pay, you're more likely to allow it. Versus if you're just going on dates, going to the movie theaters,
Wait,
and stuff like
hold
that,
on,
because those are
yeah.
date activities.
Jesse, are you saying that like if you guys are, if you are not the one to be like, hey, be my girlfriend, and you're deep in the talking stage where you're going grocery shopping at Costco, are you saying that you're gonna pay for the groceries?
I don't
Because
know. I've never been in a situation.
well, I'm asking you, like, would you?
Okay, we're deep in the talking. How deep we talking? How many months?
Like you said, you didn't ask her to be your girlfriend, right? Like just based off of like what you just said. So by your definition, you're still in the talking phase.
First, let me say something. All right, a girl will not be grocery shopping with me. Period. If she ain't my girlfriend.
Yeah, but some people don't. They do not have that conversation of saying, "Oh yeah, are we dating or something like that." They will just be like, "Oh yeah, let me go with
No,
you."
I feel like most women will bring it up. Like they'll broach the subject. They'll like inkling at it. You can ask the woman here. Like most of the time, when a woman wants like when they feel it, they will broach the subject and be like, "So like, where do you see this going?"
Yeah.
And that's basically her way of saying, "Are we gonna be exclusive or not? Or are you gonna be my boyfriend or not? Yes or no?"
I agree.
Yeah. So like, there's never no like, oh like whatever. No, you were in the talking phase, or you in. That's why I ever say I don't know. If the woman just has not broached the subject, then the woman is not ready to see you as her boyfriend yet.
All right. So if I see you at Costco with a shorty, that's your girl.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You ain't
right.
gonna see me at no grocery. Like if I'm at Costco
Noted.
grocery shopping and we like holding hands and stuff like that, bro, that's probably my girl.
Okay.
And
That's
like I
fair.
said, it ain't happy because like I said,
Hey, look, man. Some guys don't give a fuck, man. Some guys, yeah, let's go Costco. You're not my girl, but let's go.
you can expand that. I think most guys will milk it until the girl asks.
What do you mean milk it?
So a guy will not ask or basically just milk it as the talking phase as long as possible, and then the girl will basically broach the subject, and then you'll be like, and then some guys would be like, I don't know, I'm still thinking about it.
Yeah,
I don't
he's
know
just
if
not
I-
at that
I-
into
and, I'll-
it
and if
or anything.
I'm not ready or whatnot, and then the girls will keep pressing him on it. Yeah, some guys will be straight up, yeah, I'm down.
I feel like that always depends though. I feel like that depends on when you're starting to talk to someone. Was that established? Are we looking for something? Are we just doing this for a good
I
time?
feel like most people don't even care, don't even have that conversation anymore. They just go with the wind.
Yeah.
I think from what I've seen, most time it's the girl that ends up asking. I don't see a lot of guys ask.
Like the what are we?
Yeah, I don't see a lot of guys ask or say or ask someone to be their girl like that.
That actually leads into one of our conversations we had, one of our topics, all right? All right. I want to know at what point in the talking phase do you start asking the what are we?
You want to kick it off with what I just said? When you guys are doing
Yes.
regular schmegular things, when you're doing stuff that are not date related, that's when you're kind of past the talking stage. Or if you're seeing each other's family.
Oh, that's big.
Like, come on. Like, I'm not gonna introduce someone to mom and dad unless I'm like, hey, I really like this girl. I see something like going somewhere. That's when you should probably broach the subject.
Question. Don't you already establish, you've already asked her by then, say, what are we? Or do you want to be my girl? Before you introduce them to your parents.
Wait, wasn't the question when is it okay to ask the question?
When should you start questioning that, what are we?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's when But I'm saying some people, they'll do that before they introduce them to the parents. Some people don't. Like I said, some people, they don't outwardly say like, hey, what are we? They just do stuff through.
I mean, actually, the situationship in Texas, I met her like, her mom and her dad like aren't here, but I met her sister and like brother-in-law and like their her niece like the second day.
Okay, that's a little fast. All right,
Damn.
our sister and brother
Red
are
flag.
different. I feel like
Red
But
flag.
parents.
But her
Parents.
mom doesn't live here.
Okay, yeah,
I don't even think she's in the same country.
yeah. Like if I'm dating some girl or like talking to somebody, they're probably gonna meet Jesse within like the first or second time.
No, I'm so protective over my nieces and nephews. I would never just let someone I'm casually dating just in and out constantly. That's not the role model I want to be.
I think
and
it
I
was
think that
definitely-
speaks volumes
Understand.
to like the person.
Makes
Yeah.
sense. What do you think?
It was definitely fast.
After she meets my mom.
You bringing her to
But she
meet
won't
your-
meet my mom until like within 4 or 5 months. Like there's a established like we're exclusive. Let me bring you over to the crib. See how you get along with my mom. And my mom is very like, I take what she says with a grain of salt, right? Even though I'm very, you guys know we all
Mama's
love our
boy.
family.
Mhm.
But she will either say one of two things. She will say, hey, next week I'm having this dinner, you should bring her. Right? Or she just won't say anything.
That's huge.
And the 3 girlfriends I've ever had that has been the situation. So for me, the talking stage from talking to being like my partner is after that.
So the mom gotta approve.
It's not that she has to approve, right? It's not like she's like, yeah, you can date her. That's not really what I'm looking for. It's more like when you come inside my home, are you taking your shoes off? Are you talking to my mom? Are you taking initiative to say hello to her? So my mom isn't the gatekeep here. It's like this person's very important to me, and if you want to be in my life, I need to see how you mesh. And there's been girls, only one that we haven't meshed, but the rest have been good. But that's how it is for me.
I think that the answer to this question is not like a one size fit all. It's very fluid and depends on the person,
Sure.
right? Like, okay, for me, you wouldn't even meet my friends until like,
Jesse the gatekeeper, bro.
yeah, like low key. Like if I was talking to a girl, you don't even meet my friends until I think you're ready to meet my friends.
Yeah, but when is that for you?
It depends on the person. It truly depends on the person. Like if I see a future with you, then like if I see, oh, you straight, I can. It's like the first step for me is integrate you into the friend group. After integrate you in the friend group, it's like integrating to the family. So you gotta get to the friends first before you get to the family.
For me, my friends are gonna like whoever I bring, so they're always going to be cool.
So the reason why I say that is, I don't think I would introduce a girl into my friend group like unless we were first. Not boyfriend and girlfriend necessarily, but like exclusive. Because then like, okay, this is the potential to become like that at that point. Because good things are ruined by people. All right. And then I don't want to basically introduce somebody into the friend group and then like 2 weeks later, like what happened to her? It's like I just want to completely deal with that awkwardness in general.
Gotcha.
Like
Okay,
I'd rather
okay.
you just don't even know about her if it didn't work out.
I
Than
get
like,
it,
but
I
like if I'm serious about the girl, like all right, I'm gonna bring it to my friend group. They're ready to meet her. Like I'm serious about this girl. That is just basically to avoid the whole awkward situation afterwards. Like, bro, weren't you talking to this girl or something like that like like some time ago? Just to avoid that.
Okay, that's fair.
I bring someone into my friend group when I actually am curious to get their opinion of what this person, like, do you think this person's actually like as great as they seem to be? Or do you see things that I'm not noticing that might be like red flags?
So girls gotta give the approval from the friends.
Would you actually even listen to your friends though?
It depends how much I like the person.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go. That's always the case.
That's always the case. Yeah,
That's what I'm about to say. Because I've seen girls where they will be with somebody and their entire friend group does not like them, and they do not care. Like multiple girls, and I see that. It actually goes with guys too. I know guys do the same thing where their entire friend group does not like the girl, and they will still stay with them regardless. I'm like, dude, what the heck? And that goes back to what Jesse said, like the 80-20 rule. They're focused on the 20% they do like instead of the 80% they don't like.
That's true. Yeah.
I think every answer is going to be different, right?
Yeah.
And it's okay. Like no one has a right or wrong answer, but I think that You have to understand the values that you have in your life. So, for example, like I know for you two, family is really big, right? If, let's say, you like this girl a lot, Jesse, but
Why are you pointing me out? I'm kidding. I'm
don't
kidding.
matter.
I'm kidding.
Anybody.
You can
I
use me.
assume that all of us here love our families. But if a guy or girl comes in that you bring in and it's just not meshing, would that not be a deal breaker for you? Would it not be a deal breaker if like your mom's like, Jesse, I know you like this girl, but I don't think she's for you?
I have a counter to that. I think that another thing about this question is that your age and your maturity level plays into this. I think when you're younger, you like let a lot of things slide, and you don't like use like whatever, right? Because you're young, you don't care. Time is not of the essence to you. As you get older, you know, I think that time is so much more important to you. And so you get to a maturity level where you basically have a better understanding of your parents as well and your family members and your friends. So you kind of innately already understand what your parents are going to be looking for, what they like and what you like. You know what I'm saying? When you're younger, you're not self-aware. When you're older, you are more self-aware. So like if you're like dating in your 30s versus dating in your 20s is completely different, right?
Sure.
When you're dating in your 30s, it's like you are, like I said, more self-conscious and you are more aware of things that you were not even aware of when you were in your 20s. So even before you would even bring up somebody to your parents, you probably already know how subconsciously how your parents are going to feel about this person before you introduce them together.
Okay, so let's play devil's advocate. So you think you know that your parents are gonna like this person, and then they don't. That's just the outlier.
I will say,
What will happen?
I will say, okay.
I know what Jesse's got to say. Go ahead.
I'll say it like this. My mom has never been wrong about any person in my life, in my past before. But then again, I've never exposed my mom to every single
Yeah,
person I've talked to.
understandable.
But the woman that I did expose to her, she was 100% correct on them. And I kind of knew her answer by the time that I kind of knew the answer before she even told me.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it at that. You subconsciously already know what your parents are going to think about them. Because think about it, you live with your parents, you're basically like your entire life. So you kind of know them.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like I know if my mom would like this person or not.
Yeah.
I got you.
I will say this, like, it's not even just my mom's opinion on women in our lives. My mom will see women in my friends' lives and be like, nah. Or like, yeah, that's going to work out. Or, no, I don't think that'll work out. And they're right. She's right literally 100% of the time. Like, she just knows.
Your parents are like, they're like the ultimate like test.
And she will never say something to my mom. My mom will never say something directly to Jesse. But in the past, Jesse has been with some people. My mom's like, I don't think it's going to work out, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Right? But she won't tell it to Jesse because she doesn't want to feel like that overbearing mom. But she's always right.
Always right.
Always
100%.
right. I don't know how, but she just knows. She's like that motherly instinct.
Yeah.
It's like no other.
Any final thoughts, Angela?
No?
Final thoughts, Brad?
No, that was good.
All right.
It's really good.
Anyways, we'll catch you guys next time.
Peace.
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 Bye.